dimension of gratitude, and then we'll have a role-play demonstration, and then we'll do some practice. Okay, so you'll notice that we typically follow this pattern of we talk up here, and then we demonstrate things, and then we have you practice things. We'll be following that format throughout most of the day. So I'd like to begin with a quotation that I came across recently, and it's by a person named Friedrich Koenig. I think it's Koenig. Friedrich Koenig. And he says, "We tend to forget that happiness does not come as a result of getting something that we don't have, but rather of recognizing and appreciating what we do have." So there's that focus. Where do we place our attention? Okay. My experience, the things that I have learned, is this universe appears to be set up in such a way that where we place our focus, whatever that focus is on, expands. It expands in our own awareness, and beyond that, it seems to even have a magnetic force that tends to attract things to me and to this focus to lead to its fulfillment or its manifestation. So there are many spiritual, metaphysical, and other practices. You may have heard of the law of attraction or various things. So I believe on a very pragmatic level. I find it to be pragmatic spirituality, that when I place my attention on my intention, and I feed that, I help it grow, I nurture it, I nourish it, it's amazing what comes to me in the universe. It's amazing the people who tend to show up coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, and the opportunities that come to me. But it does require one thing. It requires me to have a practice of focusing my attention in a particular way. And that's something that I need to do. I need to bring forward and establish as a life practice. Because if I leave it to random chance, probably what I'm going to do is have the meditation on negativity. Because there's plenty of negativity around us. There's plenty of pain. There's plenty of suffering. Without a conscious practice, probably I will find myself sucked into the meditation on lack we referred to last night. Okay? So I learned another quote recently. I'm sure probably a lot of you have heard this, but it's by Henry Ford, the automaker. And he said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're probably right." You got that? If you think you can, you probably can. If you think you can't, well, that's going to create a different way of approaching things in the world. Okay? So I have found that with this conscious practice of gratitude, again, we're not sugarcoating and pretending. It's not about creating a fantasy land in our own lives. It's about consciously choosing to place our attention in a particular area. And the way that we describe it here is the needs in our lives that are being nurtured or supported. And as I said last night, there's always something to be grateful for. There's always something. Okay? So with that in mind, I find that you don't really need to believe what I'm saying. You don't really need to believe that this force is existing in the universe. In fact, you can disbelieve it, but still do it. Just do it. Try it. Experiment. That's what we're here for. Just try it and see what happens. Maybe it won't work, maybe it will. My experience is usually it does work. It usually does help. This does not require your cognitive belief. You don't need to rationally explain it to yourself. It's simply a practice. People meditate, people practice yoga, people practice prayer, they attend the religious service. You do it. You don't necessarily wake up saying, "This is the best thing in the world." No, you have a practice. It's a discipline. So I encourage you to develop a discipline for gratitude. It's helped me a lot. Okay? So we're going to be kind of building on that theme throughout today. What we're going to do now is have a role play activity with Gary and Claude. And what we want